Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Namah Parvati Pataye Hara Hara Mahadeva. Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Wondering why I chanted Shivanama today instead of Ramanama? There is a purpose. In this episode, you will find how great is Bhagavan Shivaji. How wonderful is Bhagavan Shivaji. How loving is Bhagavan Shivaji. And how caring is Bhagavan Shivaji. And that too, that love, that care towards Sati ji, who actually in a manner of speaking deceived, though she is also pure, she is also chaste. We saw yesterday in the last class. In spite of it, in spite of what Sati had, conducted herself, Shivaji's love and care, understanding the inner heart of Sati ji, so beautifully he takes care of her. Who else can do that? Therefore, in this episode, we are going to see how wonderful is Shivji. And now that we have been seeing Shiva Mahima in this episode, I thought it will be appropriate to chant Shivaji's Namasmaranam. Therefore, I have not made a mistake. A warm welcome to this new series. We saw in the previous series गई समीप महेश तब हसी पूछी कुशलात, लीन परीचा कवन विधि, कहूँ सत्य सब बात। Kavana Vidhi Lina Paricha. After having asked whether you are fine, how are you feeling, better, now, okay, all that he might have asked. And then he says, how did you test Ramchandraji? And then he also makes a clear indication of, please note this particular episode. This is what all of us are doing. Not that we are unaware of. Not that we don't know. Not that we are intelligent, we are not intelligent enough. Not that we understand, we don't understand rather. In spite of the fact that we know, in spite of the fact that we are intelligent, we understand everything and still we do what we are not supposed to do. Look at the beautiful statement. Kahau satya sab baat hai. Please tell me truthfully what has happened. Please note, Bhagavan Shiva is talking to Satiji. And actually, last week, when we stopped at this point, just for to make a mention, for those who don't have the book, you must have the book. You must have the book. I've been insisting. Anyway, for those who don't have the book, Masa Parayana Dusara Vishrama was given at the end of the last class in the last week. So from here the next Masa Parayana starts. Okay. And in this episode, please be very attentive. Don't feel bad or guilt. That is anyway there. It is bound to be there. And it deserves to be there also. Yet, be attentive. Alright. I will read the 56th Chaupai. Please be with us. Sati samuji raghubir prabhavu Bhaya bhasa sivasana kinha duravu Kachuna paricha linhi gosai Kinha pranamu tumari hinai Jo tum kaha so mursha na hoi More man pratiti ati soi तब शंकर देखे उधरि ध्याना सती जो कीन्ह चरित सबु जाना बहुरी राम मायहि सिरुनावा प्रेरि सती ही जिनि झूठ कहावा हरि इच्छा भावि बलवाना हृदय विचारत शंभु सुजाना सती कीन्हि सीता कर बेशा शिवउर भयउ विषाद विशेषा जो अब करऊं सती सन प्रीति मिटई भगति पथु होई अनीति परम पुनीत न जाई तजी किए प्रेम भड पापू प्रगति न कहत महेशु कछु हृदय अधिक संतापु सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। When we read such chaupais about Bhagavan, who will not develop bhakti towards Bhagavan? A normal, sensible, intelligent human being cannot but develop bhakti towards Bhagavan, because that is the glory. Namah Shivaya. Sati samuji Raghubira Prabhavu. Sati ji Raghubira Prabhavu Samuji. She understood the Prabhava, the glory of Raghuvira. We saw what all happened yesterday in the previous class. I am not going to repeat all that. Alright? We saw her seeing all the glory of Ramchandraji. Ramchandraji also showed her who exactly he is. You know, the various forms she saw, and saw only Ramchandraji, Sitaji and Lakshmanji in the same form, and she understood. And when she closed her eyes, did namaskara and woke up, nobody was there. So that was, in our bhasha I had mentioned, a jhalak, just a splash for Sitaji to understand Ramchandraji is not just Nara, he is Nara Narayana. Sati Samuji Raghubira Prabhavu. Bhayabasa Sivasana Keen Hiduravu. Bhayabasa means what? Naturally. Obviously. Whenever you come to know that deceit what you have conducted has been brought to light, has been seen, then naturally there will be fear. So engulfed by fear, Sivasana Keen Hiduravu, she thought. Now Shivaji is asking her, if she tells him the truth, then there could be disastrous moments. Therefore, she lied to Shivaji. And this is what we also do to our elders. Just to evade an unpleasant moment and a very drastic result, we say a lie. And that lie can cost a lot. Now see, Bhayabasa Sivasana Keen Hituravu, she tried to cover the truth by telling a lie. That is why, in our earlier, the Shastras also say, Vinasha Kale Viparita Buddhi, it is said. So at the time of Vinasha, so many Viparita Buddhi comes into picture. Kachuna Parichalina Gosai. Gosai means Lord. Oh Lord, Kachuna Parichalina, I did not test anything. Kinhi pranamu tumari hi nai. I also did Sashtanga pranam to Ramchandraji the way you did to him. Jo tum kaha so mrishanu hui. When you have told, how can it be false? It has to be true. It can never be untrue. Therefore, jo tum kaha, as you said, so mrishana hoi, there cannot be anything untrue, because you are Satya Devata. More mana preeti atisoi. I am fully convinced. Whatever you said, I am fully convinced. He must be Bhagavan only. Tab Shankar dekhev dari dhyana. The moment she said that, Shivaji closed his eyes and went to a state of meditation, and with his inner eye, he started looking the exact sequence what happened. Sati jo kini charita sabu jana. Whatever Satiji did, he came to know of everything. The truth he came to know. And then he thought for himself inside, Bahuri Rama Maya hi Sirunava. He again saw how glorious is Bhagavan Shri Ramchandraji's Maya Shakti. Probably within himself he smiled. See, Bhagavan Shivaji, he is Antaryami. He knows everything, you see. So he smiled within himself. Bahuri Rama Maya Maya hi Sirunava. He prostrated to the great glorious Maya of Bhagavan Shri Ramchandra ji. Preri Satihi. Please note, Preri Satihi Jini Jhoot Kahava. Because of that Maya's prerana, Sati Jhoot Kahava. Now there are a very, very important point here which we have to note. In the earlier episode we saw, Sati was a very, very truthful, pure, chaste woman. Even now she is that only. And forever Satiji, Parvatiji, naturally. Therefore, there is no kalanka as such in Satiji, but that thought, that mischievous thought, if we may say so, that mischievous thought born out of one love for Bhagavan Shivji. How can there be somebody greater than my Shiva? And that too he appears to be Narayana, Nara, a human being. How can he be greater than my, immortal Shiva? And why does Shiva do namaskaram? So there must be something. So out of curiosity to know who that person is, what Sati went there and did a kind of test, a foolish test, no doubt. She must have then and there understood, if Shivaji had prostrated, he must be something great, he must be the Supreme Self. Therefore, out of the faith that she had on Shivaji, she must have accepted. But then there it was said, Nari Swabhava, it is said. It is not so easy. Again I repeat, all the women should not get offended. Unfortunately or fortunately in many times, Nari Swabhava comes out. Narada, for example, he only goes and creates some trouble, but the trouble ends in good, always when Narada does. In the case of Nari, the Swabhava is born out of love and faith, but normally ends up in a wrong note. Right? In case of Sati also, she is a pure, chaste, truthful woman, but the mischievous thought, if we may say so, that how can a Nara be greater than my immortal God? That also shows, please note, that also shows that she is convinced. Internally she is convinced that Shiva alone is great. Shiva is immortal. Shiva is Bhagavan. And my Shiva, that also is there. Please note. And the last portion, what I said, my Shiva, my consort. We should say consort for Devatas. We cannot say husband. Though, for understanding sake, we may say husband, they don't use the word as husband, we call as consort. Even the wife is also the consort of Shiva. Okay, Sati. My consort. That intense love, which also has a shade of attachments, probably. Otherwise, these thoughts, mischievous thoughts will not come. So, whenever love takes a step backwards and attachment takes a step forward, this kind of disaster is for sure. Therefore, beware is the call. Jhoot kahava. And therefore, jhoot kaha meaning what? She told a lie because Maya prerita. Bhagavan Ramchandra is Maya prerita. Preri sati hi jahi jhoot kahava. Hari ichha bhavi balavana. Hari ichha. It is definitely Bhagavan's ichha. Whatever is, what do you call it? Preordained. Naseeb, we may say in our language. Hari ichha bhavi balavana. Let Bhagavan Shri Hari have his Leela played. Now there is a Leela. Bhagavan Ramchandraji is playing a Leela. Hari Ichha. Let it happen. Hridaya Bicharata. Thinking about it in his heart. Sambhu Sujana. Sambhu. Shambhu Bhagavan. Shambhu is Shamkaroti iti Shambhu. Shankaroti iti Shankaraha also. And the Shambhu quiet became quietly. He's quietly thought how to respond. Sati kinhi sita kar besha Siva urabhayavu bishada bisesha. One way, Bhagavan Shivji had a little bit of fear. Why? Satiji assumed the disguise of Sitaji. She took the form of Sitaji. That brought a lot of fear. And in that fear, Shivaji now has to think very carefully. Now please note. Jo abh karavu sati san preeti mitai bhagati pathu hoi aniti. Look at the depth of Shivaji's thinking. Jo ab, in case now, Karav sati sana priti. In case I continue to love Satiji henceforth as Sati. Now please note, as Sati only. But she has taken the form of Sitaji. And who is Sitaji? My Bhagavan's consort. Bhagavati. Her form she had taken. And in case I continue to love Sati in the same fashion, mitai bhagati, patu hoi aniti, it will be, against the very path of devotion. My bhakti, my devotion at the feet of Bhagavan Sri Ramchandraji will be falsified, will become deceptive, will be wrong, will be incorrect if I love Sati in the same way I was loving before. Because every time I try to love her, what I will see is she taking the form of Sitaji. How dangerous. Please note. Parama punita najaitaji. Look at the way Shivji thinks. This is the glory of Shivaji. One of the reasons why I chanted Shivaji's Nama today. The glory of Shiva is seen here. Sati, now he himself confirms for himself, and thereby Tulsi Dasji confirms to all of us, Sati is chaste. Parama punita. Ultimately truthful. And na jayitaji, she cannot be abandoned because of this one single mischievous act that she has performed. And the act what she has performed cannot be called as deceit from one standpoint, because she is pure, she is chaste, she is devoted, she is at the feet of Shiva. No compromise, no question. But Nari Subhava. And because of Nari Subhava, that small mistake, error, the mischievous thought-born act, kiye prema bada papa. In case I abandon her, then that is very big papa for me. I cannot abandon her. She does not deserve to be abandoned. Therefore, it will be a great sin for the love I have for her. How can you explain this bhava? No language can explain that deep deep love Bhagavan Shivaji had for Sati ji. At the same time, he cannot accept Sati ji now because she had taken Shivji's consort, Ramchandra ji's consort, Sita ji's form. So, how to do justice? Pragati na kahat mahesu kachu. Pragati, Mahes kachu na pragati. He never uttered a word. Because anything he utters will have a ripple effect, cascading effect. So he didn't say anything. Kachuna kahata pragati mahesu hridaya adhika santapo. There was so much of agony in the heart of Shiva. Now see, why agony for Shiva? The agony here is, one, Satiji is pure and chaste and with full of devotion. Two, she had taken the form of Shiva, now form of Sita. Now, neither can I love her like before because she is chaste, nor can I abandon her because she took the form of Sati. Look at the complication, look at that agony that must have been in the heart of Bhagavan Shivaji. So what happened then? Tab Sankar Prabhu Pad Sirunava Sumirat Ramu Hridaya Asa Ava Ehitanasita एहितन सति भेट मोहि नाही शिव संकल्प कीन मन माही अस विचारी शंकरु मति धीरा चले भवन सुमिरत रघुबीरा चलत गगन भय गिरा सुहाई जय महेश बलि भगत दृढ़ाई जय महेश बल भगति दृढ़ाई असपन तुम बिनु करई को आना राम भगत समरथ भगवाना सुनी न भगीरा सती उर सोचा पूछा शिवहि समेत सकोचा कीन्ह कवन पन कहूँ कृपाला सत्य धाम प्रभु दीन दयाला जदपि सती पूछा बहु भांति तदपि न कहेऊ त्रिपुर आराती सती हृदय अनुमान किय सब जाने वो सर्वज्ञ कीन कपटु में संभूषण नारी सहज जड अज्ञ सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. There is one sorta there, we will read it later. तब शंकर प्रभु पद सिरुनावा. With so much of agony in the heart, Shivaji quietened his mind. He thought of his Bhagavan Shri Ramchandra ji and bowed at his feet quietly, silently. Sumirat Ramu Hridaya Asa Ava. When he remembered Bhagavan Shri Ramchandra ji, when he offered himself at the feet of his Lord, probably asking for a way in the path of dharma, how should I respond? What should I do? Neither can I abandon her, nor I can love her before. What should I do? You know what? There are so many such cases in the world where both the husband and in many cases wife, in both cases there is so much of controversy. There is so much of, inner conflicts as to how to deal with this wonderful, or rather how this terrible situation, but at the same time how wonderfully Shivaji deals with it. Sumirata Rama Hridayasa Ava. An idea came to Bhagavan Shivaji the moment he remembered Ramchandraji. This is very important. When at the time of terrible confusion, confrontation, conflicts, pain, suffering, at that time, if only we can remember Bhagavan's Nama, render the mind quiet, quieten the mind, and then offer ourselves to Bhagavan. Bhagavan, please show me the way. Truthfully, not verbally, just one sound. From the heart of hearts, when we ask Bhagavan, offer our ego at the feet of Bhagavan, surrender at the feet of Bhagavan, Bhagavan will show the way. Bhagavan will show the way. The way the thought has come to Shivaji. Ehi tanasatihi bheta mohinahi. Now he did not tell this loudly. He thought for himself. Ehi tana. What did the thought come? Satihi bheta mohinahi. I will no more have any connection with Sati in the form what I had before. In the same way what I had earlier, Ehitana. And how? Siva Sankalpo. Now the Tana means body. Ehitana means what? As long as Sita ji remains in this physical form as Sati. Now please be very, very attentive. As long as Sati remains in this physical form of Sati, Bheta Mohinahi, I will have no more connection with her like before. So long as she continues to have this body, meaning what? He cannot abandon Sati because she is Parvati, he is Ardhangini. He had given half of his body to Parvati ji. Therefore, he cannot abandon her. At the same time, as long as she is now in the form of Sati, I cannot accept her. Therefore, she must renounce that body as Sati, which is his wife, and she must come out of the body. Siva Sankalpu Kina Manamohi. Shiva resolved. I will keep her at the distance. I will not abandon her. At the same time, I cannot show the similar kind of love as my wife to her the way I was before. Asa bichari sankarumati dhira. Shiva resolved in such a way. And he was mati dhira, very, very stable in his mind. There was no ambiguity in his mind. There was no doubt at all in his sankalpa. Chale bhavan sumirata raghubhira. Chale bhavan. He continued. Remember, all this is happening in the midst of their journey from Bharadwaja Rishi's ashram to Kailasa. On the way, they had heard Bhagavan's story, and from there they are going. On the way, this is happening. So, Chale bhavan. He again resumed his journey to Kailasa, Sumirata Raghubira, thinking of Bhagavan Sri Ramchandra ji. Chalata gagan bhain gira suhai. And even as he stepped forward, meaning while he was going, there was an invisible voice, Asharirvani. What is that Asharirvani? Jaya Mahesh Bali Bhagati Dridhai. Jaya Mahesh. No, glory to Lord Shiva, glory to Maheshwara who has taken such a vow. Asharirvani. Who are they? Asapanatuma binu karai ko ana. Nobody else can do such a wonderful decision whereby he maintains his dharma, at the same time he is not carried away. Think, Asapanatuma, who else in this loka, in Triloka, binu karai ko ana, who else can ever do like this, can take such a vow? Rama Bhagata Samarata Bhagavana. Hey Shiva, hey Maheshwara, Rama Bhagata, you are the Bhakta of Bhagavan Sri Ramchandra ji. Bhagavana, the very all-powerful Lord, at the same time. Now, therefore all of them chanted. Who are they? Nothing but the Devatas in the Devaloka. From there, all of them, they are watching. That is why, we always must be careful. Bhagavan is watching. All that we do, Bhagavan is watching, and therefore, according to our karma, we will have to face the karma phala. When you do good karmas, the Devatas will praise. When you do noble activities, they will praise. When you do dharmic activities, they will praise. When you do it the other way, we will have to face all the karma phala. Therefore, be careful. Think. And also, this also indicates one more very important thing. What is that? Think positive and think dharmic. What do you mean by think positive? It is said, many of our elders also has been telling us, there are so many, all around there are devatas, 33 crore devatas are all around. Whatever you say, they will say tathastu. The moment they say tathastu, it will happen that way only. Therefore, don't think negative. Think positive. Be positive. Even the management science says PMA. In some cars it is, stickered. Some cars they have stuck. What is that? PMA. Positive mental attitude. It must be an attitude. It must become one with me. What? Positivity. The more positive I am, the more perfect I am. Perfect means all are not always perfect, but towards perfection, let me say. Nearest to perfection, let me say. When we are positive and dharmic, when we have such a mental attitude, everything will lead us towards success. All roads leads to success. When we have positive mental attitude, how? Devatas will bless us. Therefore, be positive. Take the blessings. Be positive, be dharmic, and work incessantly and selflessly. Right? Sunina bhagira sati urasocha. Suna. Suna means Satiji also listened to all this. Suni nabhagira. Nabhagira means what? In that nabha means space. All those devatas in this space, when they told, Jai Mahesha, you are the greatest Lord, immortal Lord. Nobody can take such a strong vow. When she heard, Sati Urasocha, Sati ji became a little more, all the more she is afraid, all the more she is, there's so much of conflicts inside. And as though adding fuel to the fire, the whole Devatas also raise slogans of, glory to Mahesha. Then she asked Shivaji. She could not hold. When she heard these heavenly bodies, raising that beautiful glories, and then telling him, that's the more important. Everybody praises Shiva, that she is used to. But to have taken such a vow, nobody else can take such a vow. That actually troubled Sati ji, sorry. Pucha Sivahi Sameta Sakocha. With that sankocha, with that small guilt feeling, Pucha Sivahi, she asked Shivaji, Kinakavanapana kaha kripala, O compassionate one, tell me what is that vow you have taken? Why are they saying like that? Satya Dhama Prabhu Dina Dayala, you are of the immortal Satyadhama, Kailasha, Dina Dayala, you are that Prabhu who is ocean of compassion. Therefore, please tell me, Jadapi Sati Pucha Bahu Bhati. Whenever Sati asked, Bahu Bhati, again and again, Tadapi na kahemu Tripura arati. Tripura, Bhagavan Shivji spoke not a single word. He remained quiet. Now look at this. Whenever the mind is disturbed, when there is turbulence in the mind, when we are not in our senses, the best way to manage that condition is not pour fuel in the fire. Remain quiet. Withdraw the mind, the disturbed mind, the distracted mind. Withdraw the mind and remain quiet. Why? Quiet mind alone can give proper discrimination and the right decision. So, Kahayu Tripura Arati, Bhagavan never opened a mouth. He never spoke anything. Sati Hridaya Anuman Kiya. Sati Hridaya, in the heart of Sati, she is also Parvati, let's not forget. You should not forget that. She also is all-knowing in a manner of saying, but when the mind is disturbed, intelligence is pushed aside. Sati Hridaya Anumana Kiya, she could get the, what do you call it? A feeler. We say feelers. She got the feeler. Anumanikiya. Sabujaniyu Sarvagya. Lord has already come to know everything. Meaning what? I might have told the lie, but Bhagavan is Sarvagya. Bhagavan is all-knowing. Janiyu Sarvagya. Sabu, everything he has come to know. Kinha kapatu me sambusana nari sahaja jada agya. Again, in fact, we have to understand one thing. Whenever Tulsi Das ji and very many scriptures, when they talk of Nari Sahaja, Nari Subhavu, we have to understand male psychology, female psychology has both positive and negative attitudes. Both have. Alright, we must not immediately conclude, Nari Subhava, Tulsi Das, don't conclude like that. Because Nari has got certain Swabhava which men can never have. And those men have very many Nari cannot have. Why? Today Nari Shakti, they are trying to come out and say, we are equals. We can do what men can do. Yes, in very many cases they do. Today, under the wonderful Modi ji's government, we see Nari Shakti is being promoted. And they prove their Shakti. Right? They prove their competence. To what extent? Even flying the fighter jet, they have that capacity. Therefore, we can never underestimate Nari Shakti. We have to credit them with all that. At the same time, we have to accept the inner truth, which we may not know, that men also are powerful, men also are weak in certain aspect. Women are powerful in certain aspect, women are weak in certain aspect. In this case, Nari Sahaja Jada Agya, she realized, who? Satiji realized that the woman Swabhava at many times becomes unintelligent, sometimes silly, sometimes stupid also. Remember, both have, but in this certain Swabhava, Nari Shakti exercises or exhibits a little more than the men. Not that they don't have, but they don't express it aloud. Women express it, show it up. So now Sati has come to know what? Bhagavan has come to know everything. Once she comes to know that Bhagavan has come to know everything, then what? Now what will happen? Now how is he going to respond? We will see tomorrow. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Before I stop, may I confess, very many times while I deal with this, I become a bit emotional. That's my nature. I have accepted it. When I become emotional, sometimes I might make some mistake in reading or chanting. Please accept me as I am. Jai Shri Ram.